So it's been well over a year since I've done one of these. Welcome back to another episode of Delusional PC Sales. Starting out with a PC assembled by God himself.
And to godhood!
We have the high-end, custom high-end, gaming programming PC, water-cooled, for just think about this. What a good deal. $13,000. That's USD, everybody. This is a California system. And looking at it on initial glance, I'm seeing a little bit of a weird thing here with the, sorry, I'm new to this little button thing here. This, right here.
Mario, what the f you doing?
You know what that is empty. And that's a little strange. Like, this should be filled up to at least, like, right here, you'd think. But anyways, let's go through some of the pictures. I figured out, too, because I just went back and reread this after messing up the first run of talking about this. This is an entirely separate computer that he's selling in the same ad. So I don't know why this is, like, default picture number 2. One thing I also noticed, too, if you jump over to the end here, it shows that he does have the loop filled up, and he has a dual pump configuration, which this, by the way, looks much nicer, in my opinion, than how he has it now with this RTX thing going on here and the soft tubing. The specs are pretty basic. We got a 13900K. I'm seeing these things for like $250 on the used market half the time. The Z790 Godlike E ATX motherboard, that thing is pretty insane, I will say that. But again, this is dated hardware. I'm currently running a 14900K, so I know that this hardware is good, but it's still getting old. Intel has nothing good to offer at this point other than pretty much that. So that's what you get. You get some Dominator RAM. You get 96 gigabytes of it. We got a 1600i, which...
That's a pretty insane power supply.
Let's see, what else we got? SSDs, basically everything. It's a 4090 PC with literally a 13900K, 96 gigs of RAM, and a custom loop. Case is expensive. I know that the Corsair Obsidian 1000D is an expensive case, but $13,000 for this is just insane. It doesn't matter how much work you put into it. It is beautiful. I don't love all these bends either, by the way. Like, check out this bend. I think you can see it if we stop the video. I noticed it. Yeah, okay, right here. If we stop the video, and if you look right there, that bend looks very questionable. We're talking, you can actually still see that he did that, like, right here. How do I do the draw? Okay, yeah, right here. So that line is where he marked it on a Sharpie, and then he did another bend here to, like, do this quick thing, which I don't know why he would do that. That's such an aggressive bend. But yeah, it looked way better, again, back when it was this right here, because the bends were a little bit more doable. I mean, he still had some kind of funky stuff happening right here. If you look closely, it's you know, they're not perfect bends. There's a little bit of kinking and stuff. That one's actually pretty good. That one's not too bad. But, I mean, this is a $13,000 PC. Yeah. Let's move on to the next one. Up next, we get a killer deal.
Best deal ever.
From the Panorama Ultimate Gaming PC new inbox. This is a new inbox PC, guys, with these random fans that are not from a new inbox PC. But yeah, all right. So let's take a look at some of these specs. Another 14th gen system. We got a 14900K, so not too bad there. Let's see. We got another 4090 Aero. 64 gigs of RAM and a 2 terabyte Gen 4. So I would say that this is a solid $2,500 PC to, sorry, maybe $3,000 PC at this point right now. The build quality is questionable. I mean, this random thermal take fan from like 2015 is kind of weird. We get some Corsair LL fans going on in the back here, and then what appears to be like some more Corsair fans on top. So altogether, this is going to be a Corsair mess. Where's the basement cover? I'm not seeing a basement cover. Is this that? Oh, it's that thermal take case. That's what it is. Yeah. So I don't know, $7,100 or $7,200, guys. Look at that price right there. $7,200. and this is in Worcester. This is actually around me. My friend Min just sent this to me. It was pretty funny. Yeah, I don't know. This is not a good deal. Don't buy this. Also, what is this power supply down here? Like, we can't even see. It's not listed in here. You're not going to list a power supply on a $7,200 PC? Are you guys insane? Up next, this one had to come in for the memes, dude. The friggin' memes. I missed this baby. This baby with the fist. This was like one of my favorite memes growing up. I would laugh at that often. Got some anime stickers, G-Skill stickers. This wonderful dated, I think this is an NZXT case. I don't remember exactly which one it is. I could be wrong. It might actually, no. This is the DIY PC case, I think. So it looks like we got a smart 700. So it's a $700 PC. We got the specs over here. We got a smart 700 watt power supply. We have the Ryzen 9 3900 XT, which, if you guys aren't familiar, the 3900 XT came way at the end of the 3000 series CPUs from Ryzen. They actually were pretty decent. They were kind of coming close to some of the 5000 stuff, but not nearly as close or good value. So it's still dated hardware. We're talking 5 years old at this point. We have a 2070 Super Founders Edition, which, you know me, I love the Founders Edition cards. Oh my god, this thing is so dirty. Like, guys, if you buy a white PC case, this right here is why you don't buy a white PC case. Like, look at how dirty this area is. And I'm not talking about the girls I just highlighted. I'm talking about the dirt. Look at that. Holy crap. That is insane. At least we know it's well loved. Oh yeah, we don't even have the glass side panel either. This is just the plexiglass scratched, super scratched plexiglass panel. At least they have a Noctua cooler in there. I'll give them that. But yeah, hey, this person actually at least listed the power supply. We got a 1 terabyte NVMe. We got 32 gigs of RAM, the 2070 Super, like I said, the Noctua, and the 3900 XT. All for $700. You know, a couple years ago, this really wouldn't have been all that bad, to be honest. Today, steer clear of it. Also, this smart power supply right here, not a good power supply when you're starting to get into like higher end stuff. Not to say that the 2070 Super is like a high end card at this point or anything, but it still does draw some power, and like these smart power supplies have always been a little bit sketchy. I've used a few of them myself, so don't get me wrong, but they're always in like very, very budget systems. Selling a PC, just ask if you want videos. Yes, it works. Turns on, we can negotiate. We can negotiate a price of $650 US. And this is another Massachusetts PC. Yeah, so where do we start with this? Looks like we're missing the GPU for sure. We're missing the I/O in the back here, which always is like the most frustrating thing from a PC builder myself. Every time I've got parts and I miss the I/O, I get so frustrated because it's like it completes the PC. All right, we got 2 sets of the G-Skill RAM here, so I'm gonna guess it's probably 32 gigs. Yep, no GPU. Total cluster of cables. This is a cooler from probably around 2018, maybe 2016. I don't know, hard to tell. This is the H100, like one of the original H100s from Corsair. So really old cooler. No information on the hardware. So let's see if we can see what it even is. It's hard to tell. Hard to tell what it is. Designed in Taipei. It's a Taipei board. My guess is really hard to tell. It's definitely Intel platform. And dating, or showing this G-Skill red here, I'm going to guess that this is like a Z370, maybe a Z270 board. All right, I'm looking around and I'm pretty sure I found it. It's got to be this Z370. This is the Aorus Gaming 5 Rev, whatever. So it has all those lights in between, but you can kind of see here if you look between there and there. Same eagle on the board and the same eagle right there. Silver plate up top. Silver plates. Yeah, pretty much the same board. So this is probably an 8700K if you're lucky, maybe an 8600K. I doubt anyone would put a i3 in there. We do get a Wi-Fi card. What a good thing that is. And there is a power supply. What is that? Is a TX750. And yeah, plenty of good stuff going on here. You got a lot of Got a lot of that dust all right up in there. So, wow. Do you guys see this? This zip tie is linked together to hold the AIO tube. I've never actually seen. I actually probably would have done something very similar. Like back in the day, I remember I had this AIO where the tubes were a little too long and the glass was hitting the panel, and I did zip tie it like back to the side of the board, but I've never seen it zip tied like this, where like it's going across the whole PC case. I mean, hey, this is impressive. Also, the RAM is in the wrong slots. They should have staggered that, so it would have been like white, red, white, red. I guess it doesn't matter if it's the same speed, but yeah, let's move on to the next one, guys. Moving on from that, I threw this one in mostly because I want this cooler. I might actually put an offer in of 50 bucks. We have an older, probably 2600 system here, but I have never, ever in my life seen this cooler, and it looks kind of unique, and I want to test it. I actually want to go buy this thing. So yeah, if you guys have seen this cooler before, let me know. I have no idea. We do have a 500 watt power supply. I can't quite make out what it says. Let's see, what does it say in the ad here? Asus Cooler Master RS 500 power supply, which is right here. So yeah, I'm actually gonna throw an offer in for this, even though it looks like super silly and dated. Some of these like cheap gaming PCs, yeah, look at that. Ryzen i7 2600K, 16 gigs of RAM. Yeah, I might go pick this up. So for the last PC, I threw this one in here, and it actually already sold, as you can see up here. It's not a terrible system. It's a 5900X 12-core processor, 32 gigs of DDR4, has a 4060 Ti, has that cool NZXT layout. I kind of like the NZXT design board, which, by the way, if you didn't know, NZXT's boards are manufactured by ASRock. So the NZXT case, the board combo is kind of cool. The only reason why I threw this in here was because it was kind of a steep asking price of 1,200 bucks, and the card is in the bottom slot. Also, that, okay, so essentially, if the card's in the bottom slot, many times it means there's probably something wrong with the board. And actually, in one of my recent situations, my 12900K I got on the on Facebook Marketplace for a really good deal. The top slot would not work at all in any motherboard I had because there was something actually wrong with the chip itself. Intel did replace it. Everything was fine after that. So I get a little nervous when I see systems like this where the PCIe top slot is empty. Now, there is an argument to be had that if you look right here, the AIO, sorry about my drawings, guys, holy crap. The AIO is completely down low here, you know what I mean? Like maybe, I'm not saying he should have flipped this, but he could put these tubes upwards, that way, or not downwards, but upwards, come on. That way the tubes would be up higher and you wouldn't have any issues, but maybe like that was the reasoning for it. I don't know. I never messaged him. It's not a great deal, but it's not a terrible deal either. But I wanted to throw it in there just because it's something to look out for if you're buying used PCs. If you see the PC has the top slot empty, it can be a factor. Maybe ask the person to move the card up or something like that. Something to think about. So I wanted to make this kind of lighthearted video because I think everyone's a little bit tired of the GPU market right now. And yeah, so if you guys want to see more of these, I will do more of them. I didn't do too many way back when I first announced it because they didn't do that well. And the few people that messaged me in the emails, which I respect, by the way, send me an email if you find one of these funny PCs. I'll definitely check it out. But one of the reasons why I wasn't doing it is people are just sending me overpriced PC parts. And I can't really make a video out of an overpriced PC part. They have to be like complete builds that are just crazy because it's more funny, more entertaining to look at like an entire system than somebody like posting up a phone like, oh, I'm posting my Pixel 8 here for, I don't know, $1,200. Yeah, I'm insane, but maybe somebody will buy it. Anyway, that's going to do it for the video. Drop a like if you liked it, and I'll see you guys next time.